Before I tell you, it's one of the strangest, most fascinating, yet horrifying things you could ever experience. It's the feeling of being unable to move upon awakening. Your senses and awareness are perfectly intact, but you feel as though you're trapped in this half-asleep, half-awake state. I'd heard stories about this long before it happened to me. I've only experienced it once. I was in college, going through an incredibly tough time. Insanely stressed during finals week, barely sleeping. I went to bed late after staying up all night studying. I don't remember when I finally called it a night. I just remember it all becoming a blur. Then, blackness. Next thing I remember, I was in my bed. But there was this weird haziness in my awareness, like I was awake, but weaker. When I tried to move, I couldn't. I could only dart my eyes around the pitch-dark room. I looked to one side of the room, and when I looked back to the center, there was a woman, standing dead center, facing the bed. She was wearing a black dress, holding these long objects. I wanted to call out for my mom, but the paralysis kept my mouth shut. I couldn't make a sound. The woman came closer. She knelt down, touched my forehead. I could feel it. She got eye to eye with me, and I could see my mother's face. I tried to scream for her, desperately, but I was a prisoner in my own body. She stood back up, walked to the doorway, and disappeared. I lay there, frozen, for another 20 seconds before my vision suddenly cleared. I jolted up, jumping out of bed, screaming, "Mom!" over and over. I ran into the hallway, yelling her name. A door opened down the hall. Someone came to hug me, but it wasn't my mom. It was my dad, telling me he misses her too. My mom died 3 weeks before this happened. You know what I love about dreams? How vague and bizarre they can be. You're in this separate world where nothing has to make sense. But what happens when that unearthiness bleeds into the real world? You'll see what I mean. I was having this bizarre nightmare about being hunted by some weird creature in the woods. The dream went fuzzy, and I woke up. Well, kind of woke up. I was out of the dream, back in my bed, but I couldn't move a single muscle. Then I started hearing this noise. Faint. Weird. It was this indescribable, robotic, yet alive sound. It started soft, repeating every 3 seconds, but it was getting louder, getting closer. It got so unbearably loud in my head, I wanted to scream, but my jaw was locked shut. Then my eyes locked onto the closet door, specifically the crack in the closet door, a door I never leave open. There was a distorted face of a man looking through the crack. He had an unhumanly large, open-mouthed smile, and every time I heard that clicking noise, the closet and the face seemed to get closer, until suddenly the closet door slammed shut, and everything went dead silent. I regained control of my body. The first thing I did, even at 24 years old, was run to get my dad to check the closet. There was nothing in there. My dad told me it was just sleep paralysis. It didn't make me feel any less disturbed about what was smiling at me from the dark.